So we said, how do we attract the capital back to the inside of our city? And so usually the best tool we have is what's called a public-private partnership, where the city puts together the land, lays out a master plan that works because you're dealing with multiple property owners, and then works with developers that want to do that plan. And it's more expensive to, say, put underground parking garages in so that a place is walkable and you don't have that big Walmart parking lot. How do you do that? How do you get that done? It's worth it when it's done. People like that sort of development better, but it takes a public-private partnership. One of the things we often do is called tax incremental financing, or TIF. It's greatly misunderstood in the state, but we had one developer, for instance, that said, I want to move my national headquarters to Carmel, and the first building, I need about 100,000 square feet. Eventually, we're going to build first building with 20,000 square feet. That means we get roughly $20,000 of property tax off that building once it's built. And we said, you want 100,000, you're going to build a two-story building, 10,000 square feet per floor with a big parking lot around it, right? Well, yeah, that's what we usually do. And I said, wouldn't it be nice to have all the parking underground and have all 5 buildings connected and close to each other, and they can walk? You got greater density, so you can probably attract some restaurants nearby and amenities for the employees. And the answer was, of course, but I can't afford to build those parking garages. We say, well, we're building a big public facility. We're going to need parking at night for our new concert hall in the middle of our city center. You only use it during the day. What if we said to you, Mr. Developer, you could use your taxes for 20 years to get a loan to pay for that underground parking garage, and we use it at night? Well, they said, yeah, that'd be great. And then what's the tax situation then for the city? Do we just give up that $20,000 a year? Yeah, we did for 20 years. But at the end of that 20 years, what are we going to get for it? We're going to get $100,000 a year because we're getting 100,000 square feet, not 20. It's like an annuity. But that's the essence of a public-private partnership. And they can take many forms, shapes. But the point is, business, we set our goals in government. We work with the community to set those goals. Then we turn around to business and say, help us with this. And they say, well, it doesn't work. Well, let's work together to figure out a way where together we can accomplish something that separately neither of us couldn't have accomplished. Anybody familiar with the Muldoons and Basbo block up in Old Town Carmel? We knew that area wasn't going to be big enough to be our new downtown. That was a few blocks to the south. We turned it into an arts and design district to attract tourists and others and get capital flowing into that area. And that used to, I wish I had some pictures to show you, that used to become an old warehouse, a gravel parking lot, a little 200 square foot concrete block building. It was kind of run down. And it's a pretty nice building we have there today. 2 levels of apartments on the top and merchants, brick front on it. We've put public art on the sidewalk, restaurants, clothing stores, boutiques, art galleries, and so on. We bought that land as a city, vacated the street. We had to move some utility lines. We had $1,300,000 invested. We went to the developers and said, we'd like you to do this. So it doesn't make any sense. We can't pay that much for the land. And I said, well, how much can you pay? And we talked to several developers, got the best deal we thought for the best building. And so we sold it to them for $600,000. Remember, it had $1.3 million in it. We sold it for $600,000. So what do I say to the taxpayers? And they say, why did you give that guy $700,000? And I said, well, did you ever calculate return on investment? And they kind of went, well, yeah. And said, ask me how much property tax we used to get on that block. Well, about $14,000 a year. I said, ask me how much we're getting today. Well, $225,000 a year. So 200 and what would that be? 211,000 into 700,000. It's just about a 29% return on the city's investment. Plus and that doesn't count the people who live there, shop here, and pay sales tax and the people who pay income tax in Carmel and all the economic development activity that capital investment created. But that's another example, I think, of business and government working together to create something good.